Murray at a distance until he stopped in a nearby parking lot. A community member saw Murray's actions and stopped to speak with him. Officers recognized the community member was de-escalating the situation and waited patiently to intervene.
We got a FedEx driver here that's got some good rapport with him. I'm gonna wait till another officer gets here.
Copy that. Hey Sam, what you got to do?
This side lot of the Nissan dealership off Amherst.
Headed Bravo. I don't have an offer for that call. You're preempted. 1627.
Hey, for any officers coming on scene right now, he's calm with the FedEx driver right now. Last time I ran up, he freaked out, started sprinting away. So when you come up, let's get a couple of us and just calmly go right up next to him. I know, I've been chasing him down the street for a while. We got another coming right now? Where's 960 Alpha?
Fairfax County Fire and Rescue were called prior to taking Murray into custody. No use of force was used in the apprehension.
Timika. Sir, are you okay? Okay, sir, we're here to help you. I appreciate it.
Come on, just sit down.
Sit down. Go ahead, take a seat.
Come on, sit down.
610 Bravo, can we start medical our way? Just
Copy,
relax.
610 Bravo. What you got there?
I saw you, sir.
You had the rapport with him. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I dealt with him yesterday. I just want to.
Oh, you
sure,
doing? Yeah, okay.
I just want to make sure he's calm.
All right.
Okay.
Good, or?
We're good. Appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right. No
I don't want you to get involved with. Just you've done a lot. Appreciate it.
610 Bravo, when you can. What kind of condition you got for the patient?
Looks like he's in pain, possibly under the influence of something. He's acting erratic and he's on the pavement right now, gasping for air.
Okay.
Sir, hey,
I'm updating the event location right now.
I don't want you running from me because we want to get you help. You're not in trouble. All right, but I want to detain you because I don't want you running away, okay? So please sit up. Please sit up for me.
Who's ever looking for him? The event location has been updated.
I'm going to put you...
70 Amherst.
Relax. I'm going to put you in cuffs, but you're not in trouble. Okay?
Take you to sit down.
All right, let's stand up.
Take you to sit down.
Yep, let's stand up. I got you. Go ahead, stand up. I'm going to put you in cuffs. You're not in trouble.
Stand up, sir.
Stand up.
Sir, we're going to get taken care of, right?
You're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. Relax, okay? You're not in trouble. I just don't want you... I don't want you running away. I don't want you running away. All right.
Well, we could sit on the curb, okay, and lean up against the car, okay?
Sit down. I got your phone. Don't worry. I got your phone.
All right, you see this white car to your left here? You sit on the curb?
It's on the curb. We got rescue coming. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Turn up.
What'd you smoke? I smell a little bit of weed. What'd you smoke, man?
Something mixed in with it? Yeah, all right, you can sit down, but...
Listen. Sit down. Relax. You're fine.
If you lean straight back, you got the car behind you.
Sorry.
Just relax right there, okay?
620 Bravo, you can clear the channel. Anybody else coming, slow it down.
All right, unit still responding, slow it down. And what's the status of scene for fire?
Scene's going to be cold. If they come in the Nissan parking lot, they'll see us.
Copy that.
Griff, can you go back and lock my car? Yeah, where is it? It's the unmarked on the bridge.
What do we got here?
He's just,
Charges at all or not?
it would be dip if he doesn't go with it there. Basically, the same guy I dealt with yesterday. That was at the hotel.
But it was also concerned that he was going to get himself killed.
Yeah, so he had everybody southbound traffic stopped. FedEx truck, which had really good rapport with him, honestly saved the day. Hey, I know, we want you to be able to breathe. Sit up.
See, I'm looking at y'all there. Oh,
Hey, sir,
I do it like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean you over, okay? Just on your side. On your side, right there. Stay right there.
Oh, God. Gotta do it just like you sink there, huh? Oh, no.
Just relax, relax, relax. I don't want you to hit your head on the car. There's a car right behind you, all right? Okay, we got an ambulance here.
I know. I know. I think I see it. Oh, man. Hey.
Griff, or
Someone's already.
okay, someone's going to lock it. Relax, relax, relax.
Stable and come under the car.
Hey, relax, relax. Relax, relax, relax. We're here to help. We're here to help. We're here to help. We're here to help.
Relax, we're here to help you.
We're here to help. We're here to help.
We're here to help you. We're here to help you. Get him to, we get him to the grass? Come on.
Once he calms down, I don't know if this comes in phases because this is what he was acting like when I came in first. Relax, relax. Relax. Relax.
Lay down, bro.
Relax,
Lay down.
Relax, relax. It's okay. We're here to help. We're here to help.
Accident with multiple complainants and involving people trying to jump out of a car, attack each other for the accident.
2 Delta can be our own.
Direct.
2 Bravo, same traffic.
Hey, we're gonna help you out. We're gonna help you out. We're gonna get you on a stretcher first, okay? Okay? We're here to help. We're here to help. We're here to help. Don't worry. Calm down.
Your old white female from 4190 long contact floral shirts. White twig, Virginia, taking their Delta Sierra 7905.
Get some for his upper body.
Relax, relax. You're good. You're good. You're good.
431, are you 10-4?
Murray suffered a medical emergency during transport to Fairfax Hospital. Several advanced medical interventions were performed in the ambulance.
We've been working CPR for about 6 months now.
Working CPR direct.
Call section coming up.
60 Bravo direct.
Sadly, Murray was pronounced deceased upon arrival at the hospital. An autopsy was conducted the following day. The results of the autopsy will determine the cause and manner of death.
Excuse me. Good afternoon, everyone. We last February, well, February of this year, February 12th to be exact, of 2022, we announced a release of information policy on the Fairfax County Police Department that has since been mimicked and studied by many police departments locally and across the country. And we made a promise through that policy that we will release body-worn camera footage following critical incidents such as fatal and non-fatal officer-involved shootings. And we've done that each and every time. So when this in-custody death occurred, we wanted to stay consistent with the spirit of the policy. While it doesn't specifically mandate the release of body camera footage following an in-custody death, we think the spirit of the policy and transparency and goodwill and understanding really compelled us to do the right thing. So the right thing was to release this video that hopefully speaks for itself. So just going back and, in my career over 3 decades ago, I started, we were trained far differently in our profession about how to deal with scenarios just like this one. And you hear the words that the police officers use. And we're joined by Franconia Commander Captain John Lieb today, and his police officers. The voice you heard was Private First Class PFC Brown, and you saw Sergeant Tilden. And the words that Fairfax County police officers are trained to use when they de-escalate circumstances just like this one include, "We're here to help. You're not in trouble." And you heard those words used repeatedly, again and again and again. And you even saw the police officers allow the FedEx driver, whose name is Douglas Kennebo, Kennebo, who we plan to recognize in the future. You even see the police officers allowing a civilian who is courageous enough to step forward and assist to do that. Now, I'd venture to say that years ago, during the midst of a police encounter like that one, that probably wouldn't be the case. Well, it is the case now because that's how we train. That's how we diffuse. That's how we de-escalate, and that's how we handle situations like this one. So, I think it's important for the Fairfax County community to see how their police department handles scenarios just like this one. The preliminary information that we have from the autopsy, and the autopsy report is not yet completed, but preliminarily, we know that this man, Tamika Murray, 44 years old, we know that he had an enlarged heart. We're going to know more when we get the official results from the autopsy and when we get the toxicology report back, and we do not yet have the toxicology report back yet. So before I take any questions, and I'm happy to, I just want to again recognize the Franconia district officers, Captain Lieb, your officers, just consistent with their training and consistent with our expectation that they display compassion and empathy and patience, and they did all those things, and that's all captured on body camera footage. So the end result of this man dying shouldn't be looked at under an exclusive microscope, because these police officers did the very best they could to try to save his life in a very chaotic situation, and I think they did a great job. From that, are there any questions, Matt?
To be clear, we don't know if he was under the influence of drugs.
We suspect that he has something in his system, but I can't speak specifically to that because the toxicology reports typically always take a while to come back, and the toxicology report has not yet come back. But the day before this incident on Thursday, November 10th, on Wednesday, November 9th, Mr. Murray was arrested by Fairfax County police officers for being drunk in public, and he was released after he was charged and faced a magistrate, which is typical. So we had an encounter with him the day before where he was under the influence of at least alcohol, and we suspect that the results of the toxicology will reveal something similar, whether it's alcohol, drugs, or both. Certainly his behavior was erratic and unusual and dangerous, not only to himself, but to motorists and passerbyers and the police officers.
Safe to say there were some mental health issues?
There's a lot of assumptions I guess we could make, but I don't know that specifically. But we always consider the fact that someone who's in behavioral crisis may also be suffering from a mental illness. But I don't want to prematurely throw that label around. He was in crisis. That I know. He was in behavioral crisis. Yes, sir.
Was there an attempt to call a mental health professional to that scene?
Well, as you know, we have a strong commitment to the co-responder paradigm shift that's taking place across the country. There was not the time there was not a co-responder on the scene of that, and as you can tell, this unfolded in a matter of minutes. There was not an opportunity to press freeze or to press pause, but undoubtedly the co-responders who are working in Fairfax County, and they don't work around the clock. Eventually we'll have co-responders in our cars with police officers around the clock, but right now we don't have that full-time 24/7 commitment. Some scenarios will afford themselves better than others to have a person interact with a mental health professional. This one is, I feel safe saying, was way too dynamic, way too quick to be one of those scenarios. There has to be a degree of stability and associated with those interactions, and as you can see with this particular scene, it was not a stable scene from start to finish.
Is it appropriate to keep the deceased individual restrained during a period of mental or physical emergency?
Yeah, everything we did here is textbook, best practice, and by the book. And if it weren't, I'd say that to you before you could ask me the question. So the fact that he was temporarily restrained with handcuffs is consistent with our policy. It's consistent with best practices. It keeps him safe, and it keeps the Fairfax County Fire and Rescue folks safe. And you probably saw that there was, I think, a total of 2 units from Fire Station 22. They were equally as heroic as the community expects public safety to be in their efforts to save his life. But our interactions with Mr. Murray, to include his temporary restraint with handcuffs, is absolutely consistent with our training and our policies.
Do you know how long it took for the medics to arrive?
I don't know exactly, but we can get you that information.
You know, as much as the story is of, the officers being able to, let him know he's not in trouble and all that, to me it's also the story of this FedEx driver. I know you guys were looking for him last month. Obviously, do you know what he says about this whole situation? Do you suggest people should do the same thing he did to try to
Yeah.
escalate?
Well, Matt, I hope you get that exclusive interview with him, because that's going to be a great interview. So I can only imagine what he's going to say. I don't know, but you see his first interaction was at the scene where Mr. Murray first kind of took off running. So he saw that, and it looks like, at least to me, that he turned his FedEx truck around and went, eventually parked it, got out of it, and was interacting with Mr. Murray. And while he was interacting with Mr. Murray, our police officers saw it, recognized that there was some level of effectiveness to that, and let that take place. So I think the FedEx driver is certainly a human interest piece of this story. I think the fact that our officers exhibited, and you hear the word 21st century policing thrown around a lot, probably too much from time to time, but everything you saw, every performance that you saw exhibited on this body-worn camera video by Fairfax County police officers is absolute 21st century policing. It's communication, it's diffusion, it's de-escalation, and it's time and distance. And you saw all that in one video. But we can help you maybe get in touch with this FedEx driver, because he's certainly a hero. Regardless of the outcome, his actions were heroic. Yes, sir.
When did you notice that this became a medical emergency? At what point did Mr. Murray display signs of medical distress?
Well, that's more of a technical question, but certainly you can see that this is a dynamic situation. And when Mr. Murray was inside the ambulance at some point in time, and I think you can see it depicted by body camera footage, CPR is performed on Mr. Murray. So that's an observation made by trained professionals, fire and rescue folks. They're the best in the business. So certainly that became apparent at some point, and they acted appropriately by trying to save his life by administering CPR.
I am just curious, you said, this is textbook putting him in cuffs to make sure he doesn't, run into traffic or hurt anybody else. But seeing him struggling to breathe and still cuffed even on that gurney, does that add to the stress that this man is under? How does that play into...
Yeah. So the different story, if police officers did not restrain a person who was exhibiting the behaviors that this man was exhibiting, God rest his soul, if we didn't restrain him with handcuffs temporarily, and he hurt additional people, I assume you would be asking me why we didn't take that step. So the fact that he was restrained, again, temporarily with handcuffs, was the right call. I'm not guessing on that. So fire and rescue personnel can absolutely and consistently and routinely provide medical treatment to patients who are under arrest. That's not a unicorn. That happens all the time.
You mentioned 21st century policing. What do your officers say when they go through this training and then are able to use it in a real life situation to perhaps change the outcome from, as you said, what could have been a couple decades prior?
Well, seeing is believing, and I think officers, whenever we go through training, training is typically in a sterile environment. We role play and we engage in scenario-based training events, but there's nothing like putting it into practice when the lights are brightest and when it's for real. So this was for real, and hopefully it just builds confidence in our police officers that their training works, and the way that they communicate works. It diffuses people. It de-escalates. Now, sometimes the outcome is tragic, and Mr. Murray no longer being with us, we wish that weren't the case. But sometimes, regardless of the outcome, you can see that the enhanced training that police departments like ours have been engaged in for the last several years ultimately pays off. I think that same scenario, if captured on camera in 2002 versus 2022, looks far different than what you just saw here. And I'm really proud of the profession and the department.
Do you have an off-topic question on the big THC bus you guys had posted on Facebook just recently? Could you tell us a little bit about the circumstances of that one?
So I saw that for the first time this morning, and that was a big one, and we'll certainly afford you one of our PIOs to talk more specifically about that. But yeah, a lot's been happening in the last 24 hours. It's a 24/7 business, but if I had some specifics, I'd be more than happy to share, but we'll get someone with you right after the press conference. And I was hopeful to see Pat Collins here because I had a token of our appreciation for his decades of service, but I first met Pat years ago, and wish him and all of you who do this work the very best.
I can get that to Pat if you need it.
I got something for him. I can stay right here. Okay, it's not a gift. It's a token of our appreciation. All right. Yeah, thank you all.
All right, thank you everyone so much for coming. We'll be updating our social media and our blog posts with information on this that we gave today, as well as these videos as we usually do. If you have any other questions, we'll be here. You can follow us at Fairfax County PD. Thank you.